Head coach Megan Griffith, senior captain Kitty Henderson. Coach, let's start with an opening statement just about being here at the Battle for Atlantis, and then we'll take questions off Zoom.
Well, we are excited to be at this tournament, be invited and asked to come down here. This is a great opportunity for our program to play against some great national competition. Goal of ours is to be elevating every year and to be one of the best programs in the country. So, on a stage like this, in a place like this, with amazing staff and hosts, we're just really grateful and excited to show what we can do.
Take questions off Zoom. Just let me know. Jen Hatfield.
Hey Meg, hey Kitty. One for each of you. Meg, just with looking back at the Pacific game the other night, I'm just curious what went into your decision to start Maria over Perry, and is that something you feel like you might go back and forth with a little bit, or is that something you're trying to figure out and hopefully get settled?
Well, we wanted to bring some experience off the bench. I think Perry is she's such a great piece of what we do. She's a star in her role, and I realized that the starting five is all of our returners, right? So we just figured it'd be good to mix that up, get another true ball handler in the starting lineup, see how that we responded to that as we're trying to get players in and out quickly. But just a mix up, and we'll see what happens. We're still trying to figure out how that's going to look for the rest of the season.
Sounds good. And Kitty, for you, first of all, congrats on 1,000 career points and tying Meg's assist total. So, I got to start there. But wanted to ask you real quick about Riley. I know that you and Cece and Perry talked about her a little bit at Media Day, but now that you're 5 games in, I'm curious kind of what you've seen from her, especially since she's, had some big scoring nights, and kind of how you've seen her, respond when she's struggled a little bit and come out the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm always saying to Rye how good she is. I mean, she just needs to be confident every day because we have so much faith in her. The thing I love this year as well is that we have been able to actually call her up and kind of challenge her a lot more than last year, and that's something that's really important in our program. So I'm excited about the fact that she has stepped up in that way, and that now we can really be at the same level with her rather than her being a freshman and kind of being a little worried about everything. But I think she's taken a big step, and she just has to keep being her. I mean, she's a great scoring threat. She can do many things with the basketball. So I'm going to keep challenging her to do those things and get better every day.
Awesome. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jen. Rob Brown, Ivy Hoops Online.
Thanks, Kyle. Hey, Coach. Hey, Kitty. I guess my first question is, what have you learned from last year's experience going down to the Bahamas, whether it's logistics, the different type of court or environment?
Yeah. I think it's just making the most of the opportunity. I think last year we came down here. It was all very exciting, and I think we kind of wasted our opportunity a bit. We kind of let things get to us, and maybe the whole experience kind of take away from the games. But I think, we're very focused this year. We're very prepared, and I think our team is also very mature this year, which is really enjoyable. I mean, we get on scouts very quickly. We know what we're doing. So I'm excited to make the most of this opportunity and show everyone what Columbia basketball is.
Yeah, to continue with Kitty's point a little bit, these are great opportunities and they happen early in your season, right? So we understand that responsibility being an Ivy League school, trying to prove themselves to play in March. So for us, we were just, we had to hit start a lot earlier. Last year, we had some injuries early in the season, just like every other team does in the country. We have some injuries right now, but we're not letting that impede our progress in terms of moving forward. So to Kitty's point, I do feel like we're much more prepared for this tournament. And, we learned a lot last year, and it was really valuable for us to go on a major win streak after this tournament. So I think we just tried to accelerate that whole process before we got here.
And in terms of the Indiana game, you all play very aggressive defense, like getting those turnovers. How do you really make sure that it's not too aggressive? Because Indiana likes getting to the line, and they do really well at the free throw line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as we're trying to figure out our identity, this is the most aggressive defensive team I've ever had at Columbia, which is really exciting. And we're still trying to play with that a little bit and figure out what we can and can't do. But I like where we're at right now. I think that we're still learning each other, much as they are. Indiana's got a lot of new faces on their team as well, as much as they have returners. So new players and new roles. And, I think we're going to see what our defensive style can do to disrupt them tomorrow night.
And last one from me. You all are used to the back-to-backs being in the Ivy League. What's it like preparing for back-to-back-to-back games?
For them, it's no different, right? They're just going to show up, got to do quick turnaround on the scouts. For my staff, I have a phenomenal staff, a great team of people that are really prepared, that took the lead on just making sure that everybody had a responsibility going into this. It's a lot of basketball in a short amount of time, but the great thing is that you get to live scout, and that's something you don't get to do anywhere else, right? Aside from tournament play. So we're going to take that, make sure that we make the use of our time down here, and feel as prepared as possible, but simplify the scouts as much as possible.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Rob. Richard Kent, Ivy Hoops Online, or should I say isportslearning.com, Richard?
I can't get rid of it, so I don't know. It's with me for the rest of my life. In any event, hey Megan, how are you?
I'm well, Richard. Good to see you.
How important is it to see contrasting styles like you're going to see down there, not only for the Ivy season, but for perhaps what you're going to do in March?
It's absolutely imperative to be in tournaments and situations like this, right? It's not about playing against one style really well or your style always impacting the same way. You got to learn what you're made of, and this experience is going to absolutely show us that, and the unpredictability of it I love.
How about for Kitty as well?
Yeah, and just echoing what she said, I think it's really good to see what we can do against different teams and different like offensive plans, different defensive plans. It's really exciting kind of mixing that up, and the coaches get us really prepared for that, and it's just about locking in. So it's exciting to see what we can do together.
You all set, Richard?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, thanks. We'll move on to Nikki Fink, Columbia Daily Spectator.
Thanks. Coach, this one's for you. You mentioned, March a lot lately, working towards that goal. What do you want to see from the Indiana matchup that'll show that, you're making progress towards where you want to be?
Yeah. Well, I think for us right now, our program is trying to figure out strengths offensively and just clicking and connecting from our transitions, right? Defense to offense, offense to defense. So I would say that just snappier decision making on our half, is going to be really critical, not just in this game, but just any opponent that we have. I think Indiana is a well-coached program. They obviously have a lot of history in the NCAA tournament, in the Big Ten. And so it just presents us another great challenge against a well-known program, right, that we know is going to be prepared for us. So, with that, you play against big-time players. You got to make big-time plays as well. So we're just excited for that matchup on an individual level, but also collectively, us versus Indiana. I think it's going to show us a lot about what we'll see as the year moves on, not just in March, but in the next couple of weeks in front of us.
Great, thanks. And Kitty, congrats again, surpassing 1,000 points. What would you say your next goal is personally?
Thank you. Yeah. First, I really want to pass Coach G. And no, I'm kidding. No,
records are meant to be broken. Let's all say that.
Kidding,
it's been too
kidding.
long. It's time.
No, I'm kidding. But really, I'm just focused on our team goals. I mean, every day we go in, we battle against each other in practice, and that's really the focus right now. Like I never really have individual goals in mind. I think those kind of come when you reach team goals, but just going into every practice, trying to make each other better and more prepared for what's ahead.
And this one's for both of you, whoever wants to jump in. What are kind of the challenges of, going down to the Bahamas for, this tournament? Like, are there any difficulties or ways you have to prepare differently?
Well, with 3 games in a row, that's a challenge in itself. Nobody really does that at any other time of the year. So I would say that's a challenge, but we're not looking these as challenges. These are opportunities for us. And, that's what we say. We wake up, you're in the Bahamas. Like, how can you be upset about that, right? You got to play 3 basketball games. It's, again, a great opportunity for us to be down here. And Kitty's going to get a triple-double this year. That's what I'm waiting for her to do. So that is the next thing individually for her to check off the list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great, thanks.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 more if anybody else wants to jump back in. While we give them a second. Kitty, I'm going to ask you a question. For people that maybe haven't seen Columbia before that are here in the Bahamas, what brand of basketball can they expect to see from a team like you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is our culture is the best in the nation, and that really culminates everything that we do. We play for each other. We're a family. And we really push each other. Like, we love each other really hard, and that means that we can push each other every day. And that's really what makes us good in the moment and in the games when there's lots of pressure. I mean, we've had it every day. So we're battling for each other, we're battling with each other.
And we'll hop back over to Richard.
Yeah, Megan, can you take a quick 30,000 feet look at the Ivy from what you've seen or read thus far and give us a little analysis and take?
Mhm. Well, our league is getting stronger every year, which is great. You know, again, I've said this before and I'll keep saying it is, you know, the coaches in our league, we've had some new coaches, which is great to see. And, you know, they're really challenging their programs right now. You know, we're seeing a lot of teams schedule better. And that's a huge part. We've been talking about that for the last 10 years since I've been head coach. Is just that we have to schedule better. We got to challenge ourselves now, make sure our net ratings are in the right place so that when we do get to conference play, right, we're all in better position to get a two-bid league again. So one, I would say that, and then we're seeing a lot of parity. You know, it's interesting when you kind of keep your eyes and ears open. Everybody's trying to figure out their own identity right now, and it's been fun to just see different matchups and common opponents. A lot of common opponents in our league, which you know makes it easier to watch each other and follow. But honestly, not as focused on the league right now. Just trying to make sure we take in what's happening around us while we're still focused on us.
Thank you.
Jen, we'll hop back over to you.
For either of you, I'm not sure who to direct this to, but whoever wants to jump in, you know, at your media day in the preseason, there was talk about the challenge among the players to make 25,000 shots over the course of the summer. And I'm just curious kind of what the origin story of that is, you know, who came up with the idea and how are you seeing it pay off so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of who came up with the idea, I mean, the coaches kind of put that as a challenge to us. But it's kind of just making the most of like the time that you have. I mean, summer we talk about it being a separation season, and I think it's easy to kind of let those days like go to waste. A lot of the time you can just say, I'll just do it tomorrow, but it's about like every single day having a consistent approach. And I think that just pays off in terms of trusting your teammates. You're like, oh, she's made 25,000 shots. Like she's going to hit this one. Like it really comes into your trust with each other and trusting yourself too. I mean, if you've made that many shots, you're going to be a much more confident shooter down the line. And that really goes for everything. I mean, all the reps that you're getting in the summer is definitely separating you from others who might be doing who knows what. So yeah, I would just say it really gives you that competitive advantage and that edge on your competitors.
All right,
Awesome.
thanks, Jen. And last question, Rob Brown.
Coach, just a quick one. In your busy schedule down there, will you get time, or did you get time to catch up with Courtney? And is the league making you break the news to Terry that even though she's played 3 Ivy League teams, that realignment's out of the question?
I've had 2 run-ins this morning, one with Terry, one with Courtney.
Yeah.
Terry was very brief, so we didn't get to talk about that. But no, Courtney and I, we obviously follow each other from afar. She gave me my start in coaching, which I'm extremely grateful for. It was great to see her and reconnect with her family, who I haven't seen in years. So, you know, that's just more. We're not talking basketball when we connect. We're talking life, and that's what I love about this game is that you're getting to see so many people that you cross paths with in your life that have helped you get to these moments. And it's not about the sport, but it's about the opportunity that it gave us to be together and learn from each other. So, you know, it was great to see her this morning. I've run into a lot of other people so far since I've been here, but you know, minute the ball tips tomorrow, I think we're all ready to compete, but enjoy the rest of today, celebrate, get to connect a little bit more today. So it was great to see both of them.
Great, thanks.
All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Coach. Kitty, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.